Hello, this is Ron from Ron's Drone and Tech channel, back here for another video. I've kind of been out of commission most this week. We had a storm down here at the Jersey Shore, a tropical storm, and it kind of took. We had a lot of high winds, and it took power down. I was out of power for 37 consecutive hours, which doesn't sound all that long, but it seemed like it was a whole week in real time, as far as not having any power, internet, or any way to charge your devices up. So I'm trying to get back in the flow of things, and I went out and shot a video with the Mavic 2 Pro, my trusty Mavic 2 Pro, one of my favorite drones. A lot of you people out there in the community have this drone. You know how good of a drone it is. That 1-inch sensor camera, it's nothing else like it out there. And actually, I flew on one of the days I had no power. Wednesday, I don't know the date. Let's see, it's 7. So Wednesday, the 5th of August, we were out of power almost the whole day. I think it came back on right before midnight, like maybe 11:55 p.m. the power returned. So, but the previous 23 hours and 55 minutes we had no power. But anyhow, luckily I had enough juice left in the Mavic 2 Pro to go out and fly that day, because it was a beautiful day, the day we had no power, and it was a beautiful sunset. Temperatures, wind, everything was perfect conditions that day. So I've recently got some new ND filters for the Mavic 2 Pro, of course, from the good people over at I'll say Neewer. I don't know if that's the exact pronunciation. They make ND filters and polarizer filters. Sorry. And they've been doing it for years. I mean, I've used many of their products on my DSL cameras, going, way back. I don't know if I'm showing way back to the film era, but way back in the digital age. Over 10 years I've been using their products for, cameras, and now they make a lot of drone filters too. So this pack includes it's a 3-pack, and you get a ND4 polarized and ND8 polarized, and an ND16 polarized. So in this video that I shot roughly about a half hour before sunset, I chose to go with the 4 ND polarized because the light was quickly dropping, and I didn't want to make the anything. I didn't want to let less light into the shutter because I needed it for these low light shots, especially when I face the drone, kind of away from the sun, the setting sun. So, with no further ado, I'm going to roll the clip, and then we'll come back and talk about the end. So, sit back and enjoy the clip. go. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little clip. I mean, it was a short video where I flew down the beach down to the fishing pier, and it was good waves, I guess, caused by the storm that had just recently passed through. So it was a lot of surfers down there. So I got an opportunity to fly, over the surfers a little bit. I mean, I was up high. I mean, they probably didn't know I was there, but I got some shots of them, and I liked the shot where I was on the far side of the pier facing towards the sun, and you saw that reflection coming through the piers, and you can see the legs of the piers reflecting in the ocean, which I thought was kind of a neat shot. Now, again, I used the the ND4 polarized on this, so I thought the polarization would help with the reflections on the ocean water there, especially with the sun being on it too. So it was kind of some heavy light at some point. So I think it did help to keep the glare down on the oceans. Of course, I didn't have time to fly one flight without the filter and one with the filter, but I think it did help there, and I hope the 4ND part of it, put a little motion blur in the waves moving and the surfers moving underneath me. So initially on my first use of it and my first close look at the video, I thought the filter did a very good job. I know a lot of people here probably aren't aware of the Neewer, again, I hope I'm pronouncing right, brand of filters. Most people know the Polar Pros, of course, have been big with drones, and I think GoPro cameras too. And of course, we have also Freewell products, which a lot of people are very aware of their products. I mean, I think they're a little bit more lower priced than the Polar Pro options. But both of them kind of knock it out in the drone world as kind of being the 1 and 2 provider of ND filters for drones, and both of them I think do a very good job with their products. But again, they are kind of pricey compared to other people, so it's nice that companies like Neewer are available out there making a more budget price ND filter. I'll try to put a link down below. I don't remember the exact price of this three-piece filter kit here, but I'm guessing it would be about half the price of a compatible filter kit from either Polar Pro or Freewell. And again, a lot of people just want to go with those two big brand names, and that's fine. And a lot of people may swear that they're better, they make a better filter, and that each their own. I wouldn't argue with that one way or the other, but again, I've used a lot of Neewer products in the past for drones and cameras and real cameras, and I've always been for the most part pretty happy with the quality, and more than happy with the prices I'm saving over buying a more a more well-known name in the filter game. So I will continue testing the Neewer kit here. I'll try the ND8 polarized and the ND16 polarized in brighter sunlight conditions, and see how they compare to compatible projects. I got the I have the Polar Pro kit for the Mavic 2 Pro, which I think is I think I have an 8, a 16, and a 32 kit. So I'll compare the 8 and the 16 head to head with the Polar Pros. Of course, I don't have the Cinema kit, which I think is what Polar Pro calls their polarized NDs. These are just strictly NDs that I have from Polar Pro, but I'll still try to compare and see if we get a comparable motion blur between the two brands of filters. And when I shot the Mavic 2 Pro in that video, I shot it in like a manual mode, and I tried to keep the shutter at I was shooting in 4K 30, which of course is the Mavic 2 Pro's top frame rate of 4K is 30. It doesn't do 60 like the Mavic Air 2 does, or some of the other drones do. So shot at 4K 30. I try to keep the frame rate at 60, but at times I know I went a little bit higher than 60, like the next stop up. So I did maintain the perfect 30 frame rate, 60 shutter speed the whole flight because I wanted the exposure to be right also. So it was a balance between getting the exposure right and the shutter speed right for the motion blur, as you said. But it was 4K 30, and I shot on with the shutter priority mode. Most of the flight, I don't know if I ever changed it to aperture, but I shot mostly with the shutter priority, and most of the other settings, I had white balance sunny on just because I like I don't like the auto because I don't want the white balance changed on me during the flight. So I had sunny on, and I don't think I did any other special settings. I shot in. I shot it in the F log, D log. I always say these. I shot at the flat log color profile, and I color corrected with Final Cut Pro. I mean, light color correcting, mostly using the wheels, the color wheels in Final Cut Pro. So anyhow, that was the process and the settings, and I hope you enjoyed it, and it's good to be back in. Good to have power back and be back in business again. But just in case you may have a power outage this summer it was mostly due to the high wind here more than the rain, and we didn't really have thunderstorms that day. Really, it was mostly wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. Kind of keep a drone charged or whatever. So if you want to go fly and capture some after the storm footage or whatever, you got a couple fully charged batteries around. So that's my tip of the day in the summer storm season. Keep a drone fully charged in case you never know when a storm may pop up. So that's it for today. We'll keep this one short, and we'll see you in the next one.